Hello, you're listening to the PNE Flagship Podcast. Today's show, we've got Darren, we've got Nathan, we've got Critch live from, well, he's having a meal with his missus at a pub in Blackpool. Today's show, we're going to preview the start of the 2025-2026 football season. North End are back, but we're just going to give a quick introduction to each person. This is something we're going to do probably every couple of weeks, maybe even every week if Critch's bird allows it. But yeah, right, let's get into it. Start with Darren. Darren, obviously the real North Ender podcast. Darren, just give us a quick 30 seconds on how long you've been supporting North End.
Yeah, so my name's Darren, and I've been supporting North End all my life now. But I'm obviously North End with my dad and my granddad as well, and all his mates. So it's kind of like a bit of a family thing. All my family, my dad's side of the family are all North End fans. So runs in the family. So yeah, wouldn't have it any other way.
And you, Nathan?
Yeah, pretty similar to Darren, really. Dad and granddad North End fans. Great memories from when I was a kid. Playing football straight on North End after. Tracksuit on, straight on. Love it. Try and get to games as much as I can. A bit difficult for me now, but yeah, just looking forward to the season and what it brings, really.
Yeah. And Critch, I know you're dying to tell us, how did you come about supporting North End?
Well, I've been supporting Preston since, probably like the start of secondary school. Obviously, being in Blackpool, it's not always been easy. We've definitely had our ups and downs over the years. But yeah, even though I only lived in Preston the first 3 years of my life, I've just never felt anything towards Blackpool. And the first time I watched Preston, I knew it was my team. I just knew straight away. Whether that's a blessing or a curse. And I've also got my daughter into supporting Preston, even though she's nothing to do with Preston. But there's no way she's been a lasher. Not a chance.
Absolutely brilliant, Critch. 5 minutes into the podcast, we've got someone walking down Blackpool High Street talking about the love for North End. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's get into the North End stuff anyway. The summer, it's been a long summer. No summer tournament, unless you count the Women's Euros. But are we happy with how the summer's gone so far? Darren?
Yeah, so bit 50-50 really with the summer. So I'd say that obviously starting off obviously with the partnership with the Spud Bros. I can see why obviously the club have gone through with it and why we've done it. And I'd say that in a sense it's sort of like a bit of a media success really. I don't think we're going to see the benefits of this right now or later on in the season. I do think it'll give it a bit, a season or a bit more than that to start reaping the benefits from it. But again, we've got to see how that progresses and who they want to obviously bring on board as well. But again, about the pre-season games and just in general, like up to now, I haven't really been excited by the games really. If anything, I've been tiny bit worried just with the pre-season, what we've actually seen so far. But I know you can't gauge a lot from pre-season, but yeah, 50-50 with the summer so far for me.
Yeah, it started off well, didn't it? It felt like everyone was buying into everything. We had Spud Mania. We had all the signings coming in. It was always going to die down a bit, wasn't it? After we brought in 9 or 10 signings. I'm not counting Robbie Brady, not having that. We'll speak about Robbie Brady in a bit. But I think it's been positive, Nathan. Go on. How positive has it been? How positive has it been?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Well.
Go on, Nathan.
No, I think as a club looking at it, I think the signings are our type of signings, aren't they? I think that's the best way to put it, really. But I think with a club that has ambition or a club that's been in the league so long, you want to be signing better standard of players, really. There's been a lot said about the Thompson signing, 28, Smith, 33. The way I look at it is the more top teams in the league are more serious about competing. Are they going to be signing these type of players? I don't think they are. I think the obvious ones, Thierry Small. I think he looks very promising. Everyone's saying the same thing. I think of Fires. Yeah, I don't know much about him. I think he's played all right, played decent. That's about it really. And the other one, Iverson, everyone's kind of hoping he's going to be the same as what he was when he was here. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them again. And again, it's on a free. We've not gone and spent money for a decent keeper. It kind of, don't know, it doesn't sour it a bit, and the rest, I don't know, they're just squad fillers. We've made 9 signings, but it's like, what quality is it? Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit bittersweet, really, when you look at it. It's only really Thierry Small that excites me.
Yeah, we've got Small. Obviously, that was a bit of a coup, wasn't it? Everyone, if you go back like a month or two, everyone was buzzing when he came in. I do think he's going to be a bit more. He's going to be more attacking than Kesler Hayden. Whether he'll have his defensive qualities is yet to be seen. But I think Smaller Fire have been positive signings, and then we've just sort of just given our typical North End signings around it. But I think it's gone better than I hoped. If you just said to me by the end of July, start of August, we'd have 9 through the door. Right, with the defence is sorted now, isn't it? I think most people would think that. Critch, how's this a fire being a Blackpool native? Something to be excited about?
I think it's been very good for the most part. We're still a couple shy, aren't we? And that's in the final third. For me, we're definitely at least 2 players shy. But the business we've done so far, me personally, I'm more than happy with. You know, we've brought in, how many is it, 8 or 9 now?
I think
can't remember how many.
It's 9, I think, isn't it?
9, yeah.
For a start, I think that's very good because I knew we needed this many players at the end of last season, and knowing Preston how we know them, I thought we was going to bring in about 6. So to see this many through the door already makes me happy. But we're still just a couple more shy for me personally. Just a few more. I think the defence looks good for the most part. Got 2 solid keepers now instead of an average one and a crap one. Sorry, call it that, how it is. But but we just need a little more in that final third because at the moment, it's who's going to be scoring the goals for us, really. We need goals.
I know. Is this you telling us, Critch, that you're a bit sad to see Emil Riis depart the club in the summer?
I knew you were going to say that.
12 goals.
How can I answer this nicely? I won't miss him as a player, but I'll miss the goals. At the end of the day, you need goals. So I'm going to be as nice as I can be. We're going to miss his goals.
Yeah, you might get to see a few when he comes back with Bristol City. But go on,
everyone's saying
Don't
that.
Say that. Don't say that.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go on a tangent here, and I think I'm going to probably get a lot of stick for it. But you look back at his career, and he's scored goals. He's a striker. He's not getting into stuff off the pitch, blah, blah, blah. He's scoring goals, and that's what he's paid to do. I know his attitude weren't great last season, but, now he's gone. I think a lot of fans will be made to eat the words, so to speak, and will realise how valuable he was. Do you know what I mean? And strikers are hard to come by. We haven't got the money as well. So letting him go on a free, I think it was a very bold decision, and Ridsdale said he offered him a contract. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I've said before, he had that bad injury, and then he's kind of struggled to come back, I think, but he still spent 7 years at the club. It's longer than most players spend anyway, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, to be fair, he gave Preston a chance, didn't he? He gave us a chance, and what have we really done in 7 years, really?
Exactly. It's a short career. I know people say that.
Exactly.
It's a short career, and you got to look at him and think, do I want to win trophies? Do I want to play at a higher level? I've spent 7 years of my career at North End, and what I've actually won? The players that have come and gone, your Browns, your Robinsons, blah, blah, blah. I know they've not won trophies, don't get me wrong, but Brown's gone up. Still went to Sunderland, went up straight away. So that's a great example for him to look and think, do I need to move on? And I think it's the right decision. I don't think North End are going anywhere soon, anytime quick. So.
Yeah, it's the right decision for him, innit? Definitely. I think Bristol City, I think we'd all agree, probably more likely. Obviously, they got the top 6 last season. But speaking of new strikers, we might get Richard Coney. Darren, would you be offering any more money than what we've already bid for Richard Coney? £3 million bid rejected, links with Leicester, links with Swansea, 1 year left of his contract.
Yeah. So 1 year left his contract, and you got to think, would the club actually be looking to obviously sell now? They probably will, because we know that he's going to leave on a free at the end of the season for Wickham. But again, would I pay more for him? Yes, he can score goals at League One level, but with any striker, you've got to think the step up as well. The Championship is hard. We all know how hard the Championship is. We know how hard it is to get into them playoffs and actually win. But again, it's a risk, and I was actually quite surprised that we actually put a bid in for him. To be fair, with the other clubs that are obviously looking at him, your Swanseas. I think there was a team in France as well that were looking for him as well.
Leicester are too.
Yeah, but I just feel like that was a bit of a strange one for me. I feel like maybe there was other strikers we could have gone out for that price, and maybe we could have actually, bought as well. And now obviously Swansea put that £4.5 million bid in, and that just kills us, that one, because we're not going to bid any more than what we've originally, offered, the 3 million. I was surprised we put 3 million in, to be fair. But again, like we just talked about before about the lack of threat in front of goal going into the season. We're a week away now from the season starting, and I'm really worried about where these goals are going to come from.
Yeah, I know. Definitely. I think we all agree. I think we need a striker, attacking midfielder. I always babble on about it, but I just feel obviously News Potts is going to be out for the first couple of games. Yeah. Who do we have in that midfield that's actually going to create the goals? We can't rely on Mads. We can hope that he delivers this season, but we need a big season from Mads. So, well, I'm curious, what would you three, if you had a choice right now, we're getting one player in, that's it. Okay, permanent deal. Is it an attacking midfielder or is it a striker?
Striker for me.
Striker, yeah.
Striker.
Yeah, I think you look at it and you say even if Millie's your main number 9, can you really rely upon him? Is he dependable? Exactly. The drama, he gets involved in, and it's just I just struggle to see where the goals are coming from. I think everybody's hoping Jefferson hits the ground running. You look at his record at Watford last year, and you've not really got much hope, have you? Where your goals are going to come from, and it's just I don't know. It's just hard to get going, and like I say, it's a week before the season starts, and we saw it in the Bolton game. We get to that final third, and there are a few runs every now and then, but there was nobody really there trying to get through that final third, that back line, and it's just worrying. It really is.
Yeah, I think we all agree with you there.
Yeah, just definitely. on that as well about Millie as well. We don't know what's going to happen with obviously this FA hearing, and we all know how the FA are like. They could drop anything at any time on us. So if something does happen, I don't believe Millie's done what they've said he's done. But again, it's the FA at the end of the day and the EFL. So if they put something on him, a week before or like the next couple of days, we're without striker. So we've got Jefferson for the rest of the season, or until the transfer window starts again, opens again. And it's worrying. It really is. We've lost Riis. We could potentially lose Millie for a certain amount of games. And I just don't think Jefferson's the right man.
Yeah. I don't think the club are going to go and spend money, though, because, again, the club's type of attitude on it is even get another striker in. They've got Smith in, they've got Jefferson in, and Millie, they spent the record fee. As a club point of view, they're going to be thinking, well, why do we need to be spending that money again? Apparently they bid 3.5 million or whatever it was, but I don't know whether it was just trying to get a bit of interest or drum it up. They knew it was going to be rejected. It wasn't a realistic bid, was it? So are they actually actively looking for a striker? Because there's many more out there. Surely they could sign on loan, and I don't think they're going to be spending the money to get another striker in when they've already on paper brought in 2. I don't.
They could have just said to Riis, 12-goal Riis, look here, mate, you don't want to go. Here's a £2 million signing on fee. We don't have to worry then. No, not having it, Critch. We could have said that. If we say to Riis, here, 1.5 million, 2 million, he signs the contract. But apparently he wasn't even willing to speak.
That said he wasn't going to sign the contract no matter what. Was it him or Woodford?
No, it looks like it was Riis wanting it, but I'm sorry, a footballer's a footballer. If you offer them enough, they're probably going to sign the deal, aren't they? If you offer him enough, but obviously he knows he can probably go to Bristol City, get 25, 30 grand, whatever it is. Maybe it's not that much, but we'll be interested to see how he does next season. But yeah, we definitely, as I say, that's a good point, Darren, with the Oscar itch thing. We could, last season, it got to October, November, he was out for like 2 months, weren't he, from biting Owen Beck, and then he's got to re-find his form. He's had 2 months out, and he didn't really get going again until later on in the season, but... Yeah, they just need to be prepared for that because they know it could happen. So they can't just leave it to chance like last season where we had Emil Riis up top on his own, working his socks off at the top of that team. But right, we'll move on a little bit. Let's give predictions for there's 2 questions here. Where do we guys? Are you sure, Critch? Before you go, what position are we going to finish this season?
Currently.
Bottom 5. Just what we wanted to hear, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
A few more players at the attacking third. We will finish anywhere from 10th to 16th.
Perfect. Right, Critch,
Nice one.
clear off. Go and enjoy your meal
All
with
right.
the missus. I bet she's wondering
take
where
it
you've
easy.
got to. See you later,
All right,
Critch.
she's still be sat in there waiting for me. I'm going to get a bollocking when I get in. Oops, language.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Take it easy.
Cheers. See you later,
All right,
Critch.
see you later.
What a guy. What a guy. What a start to the show that was. Critch walking down Blackpool High Street explaining why he's loved Northend all his life. Right. Let's get Critch is gone now. Darren, what are you saying? Where are we going to finish this? Where are we going to finish this season? But where? So I want to hear your prediction of where we're going to finish.
Yeah.
But where you hope. What's the minimum place that you would take? So your prediction and the minimum that you'd take personally.
So see, I'm a bit optimistic. Like, every season I'm like this. I think we're always going to have a good season, but it's just pressing off end, isn't it? But again, so realistically, if we get a decent striker in and a proven goal scorer, I think we can be all right. I think anywhere between the 11th or 15th place mark. I don't think we'll have another season like we had last season. I think it almost scared the board and the club itself to obviously go out and get the players that we need in. But again, like, that's my hopeful, but predicting now what's happening with obviously the injuries that we've got now and coming this close without a striker, I could see us in that 18th, 19th spot, coming at the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, I think Not the Top 20 podcast, they predicted us to finish 21st.
Yeah.
Second Tier podcast predicted us to finish 23rd. But I think how many if you go back and listen to those podcasts at the start of each season in the last 10 years, it's just an easy pick in it. Having Preston low down because it's Preston. It's like, say, if you did a League Two prediction, everyone would put, say, a Harrogate or an Accrington to finish low down. But it's rare those teams actually. I know last season we got sucked into it, but it's not really too much to worry about with that. But I mean, I've spoke about it in the WhatsApp group myself. To me, look, we've been told Eckenbottom is a good manager. He's had his own summer. People say he's not been backed like they'd wanted, but to me, 9 players in. With the defence, I think our defence is the strongest in terms of wing backs that it's been for quite a long time. So there's no we should be finishing higher than 18th, 17th. I think we should be finishing. Personally, I'd predict a 13th, 14th finish, but I mean, what would I take? I mean, as I said, I was told a year ago that 10th wasn't good enough. We chased a manager out of the club because although there was other issues behind that, but 10th wasn't good enough for Northend. So now we've got a manager that's not a fraud. He's a good manager. We're told. I see no reason. Why can't we finish higher than 10th?
Yeah, I'd agree. But I think, you look at the amount of draws that we had last season and you want to build on that. You want to get the quality in to turn them into wins, obviously. But then I said at the end of last season in the group, the summer will show the intent of the club. And we're just not back financially. I just think if you're looking at that as Riisdale or Hemmings, you want to be backing them to get more wins in the club and get higher up the league, and they've just not done that. And I think realistically, from an outside looking in, not being backed, we can't be expecting to finish anything higher for me than maybe 12 or 14. I think that's maximum what we're looking at. And the frustration is when Riisdale comes out and says, we're going to be competing in the top 6. It's like, how do you expect fans to believe that? Other teams around you and teams below us have spent much more, and I know it doesn't guarantee success, but it shows the intent, it shows, ambition, and it attracts players, and we're just not doing that. And we've not done that for years, and it's just hard to believe anything higher than, like I said, mid-table finish again. And it's just very average, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of them people from the outside will look and think, well, they finished 20th last season. They should be happy with mid-table. But is it our 11th or 12th season in this league? It's finishing mid-table every season. And it's just, it's like Groundhog Day. And I mean, I know we were saying about Ridsdale spending more. To me, the only person that it's the Hemmings family in terms of spending the money. Ridsdale, but I always hear people say like Ridsdale should put his hand in his pocket. And I'm thinking, what? It's Hemmings. It's Hemmings. That's
it's a job.
Ridsdale. He's an employee of the Hemmings family, so he's the face of it all. So when he comes out and says it is a bit saying the aim is top 6, I could aim to have 10,000 window cleaning customers. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but
it takes a lot of flack, doesn't it? And I think he's there to do a job. That's it. It's a job, and he might be paid amount of people have quoted it, and I know he comes out with things, but in the day it's a job, and I think he's paid to be the face of it. Hemmings doesn't come out publicly a lot. Riisdale does, and he knew that. He knew the job he was getting involved in when he took the job on. So he does the best for what he can. He said it himself in I think it was Radio Lancashire. I do the best I can with the money that I've got. I love to be able to do this. I love to be able to do that, but he can only do so much that what he's got. But the frustrating things is when he does spend the money. I'm alluding to Thompson. The problem with his ankle we've recently heard about. That's the frustration, isn't it? It's saying things and doing things that's going to back up your words. It's your actions, and they're just not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you're relying on like medical professionals. You're assuming they're not going to get that wrong. But we're all being quite not negative, but I don't know. A win at QPR on Saturday, and we're all thinking, "Hey, do you know what I mean? Everything changes quickly in football." I'm one positive that I will say is, look, I feel like we've been watching the same team for the last 5 or 6 years. Since the Pearson and Davis days, at least, no matter what happens, we're watching different players. We get to see how Small develops, see what he does off here. It's just going to be fun watching different players. But so what were the predictions again? So Darren, what was your prediction? Gun to your head. What prediction? What place are we finishing this season?
Realistically, I'm gonna have to go for 15th. I'm gonna go 15th.
15th.
Yeah.
I've actually got that. I've got 15th written down in my notes. I'll go 14th. The place that we all thought we were finishing last season until we nosedive. Nathan, what are you going with?
Yeah, 14th. I think at best 12th. If we get a lucky couple of wins here and there. But yeah, mid-table, 15th, 14th for me as well.
So we've got 15th, 14th, and 14th. What a fun season we're all in for. Right, let's move on. QPR next season, the first game of the season. We can all be optimistic. Hopefully a couple of, I suppose the prices will. Is anyone going to QPR next weekend? I'm not.
No.
No,
we're leaving it. We're all leaving it. But hopefully we take a good following down. Anyone going Barrow? I thought that'd be one for you. Oh, you work late, don't you, Darren?
Yeah. The 2 games, like the first 2 games of the season, the ones that I won't be able to go to. So obviously the away at QPR, and then obviously at Barrow as well. But obviously the home game against Ipswich and Leicester as well. Tough start again, but we're there in full voice there at Deepdale.
Yeah, Ipswich for me as well. Ipswich, my first game. I can't get to Leicester game. But yeah, Ipswich, I'm looking forward to it. It's a new season, it's optimism. And I think how we start is going to be really, really important. It's going to get momentum, hit the ground running, and hopefully just build on that. When you're not spending millions, you need to build that momentum. You look at smaller teams and how they have done it. Fans get behind them, build that momentum, get a bit of form going. So it's going to be really, really important.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, when you isolate those 4 games, we've got QPR away. Not going to be easy at all. But first, they got beat on the opening day last season to West Brom. So they didn't start the season well last season. After that, obviously, we've said Leicester and Ipswich. And I know on paper we're thinking Leicester and Ipswich. But if there's a time to play these teams, it is when they've come down. Like you'd have Leeds not starting the season well. I think Burnley last season didn't start exactly like a house on fire. So you do have a chance against these teams. And then we finish August with Portsmouth away. So from those 4 games, how many points do you think we're looking at getting? I think if you could get 5 points out of those games, a win and 2 draws, I think going into the international break, you'd probably take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think I'd take a draw out of all of them. Honestly, I take some points. The harder games, I take a point. What I worry about, is getting that loss and the Reds go down as we saw in a couple of the draws, and then it's like, we've got some injuries in the team and it's just negative start. But yeah, I definitely take 5 points. I think realistically, maybe 3 points. I think draws would be a very, very good result. But we'll wait and see. What about you, Darren?
Yeah, well, I've gone for quite a bit of an optimistic look on it, really. I think we'll do well at QPR on first game of the season. I've been looking into QPR, really, like how they've done in their pre-season as well. And almost really, matching. I think they have won a couple of pre-season games. But again, like I don't think their squad is, they've not really added much depth to it this season going forward as well. But I've gone for a win. Obviously away at QPR, first game of the season. I've also put down there, I think Leicester is the struggling path. I think they're going to run away with this league this season, Leicester. I think we'll lose that, or first game at home. I think we'll lose against Leicester. But I've gone for a point at Ipswich against Ipswich. I think I think they're going to struggle. I think everyone's saying that they're going to be up there with either Leicester, finish second or even first. But I'm going to keep an eye out on Ipswich. I think they will struggle down the Championship again.
Yeah.
I think they will.
Don't listen to my Championship preview then, because I'll be tipping them to win the league, I think. But to be fair, I mean, in the Ipswich promotion season, if you remember when they came to Deepdale under Ryan Lowe, we raced into a 3-0 lead. I think we beat them 3-2 that day. So, look, we beat them, 18? I know they're a different team now, but there's no reason why we beat. Look at last season.
Yeah.
And these were both under Paul Eckenbottom. We drew with Leeds, and that was only a 90th minute goal.
Oh, that was,
Burnley. I think we should have had a penalty in the league game against Burnley. Sunderland. So none of the 3 promoted teams came to Deepdale last season and picked up 3 points. So
I think you always worry when they come down from the Prem. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Eki's first game was against Luton. Wasn't it the home game maybe?
Yeah.
And it just resembles that for me. I think Luton came down from the Prem and everyone was like, "Oh, ex-Prem team," blah blah blah. And it's a similar thing with Leicester and Ipswich, for that matter. They come down from the Prem and people think they're going to have quality, but obviously look what happened with that game. So that's why that first game is hitting the ground running and then going to Deepdale is going to be so important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's not what it used to be. And teams used to come down from the Prem with the quality and it was obvious. But I don't know. I think Leicester will do well. I think they will do well, and I think Ipswich will probably be in the playoffs. And I don't think anyone can really argue with that. But again, time will tell. But yeah, we just need to hit the ground running at QPR and hopefully get a point at home, because I think that'd be a good result for us. I think against that type of team as well, I think we take that now, and just keep that momentum going, because that's what we need.
Yeah. So speaking of QPR, who are we going with the back 3 centre backs? I think that's been an interesting point of discussion. It's going to be, obviously, we've got Offia, Gibson, Hughes, and then you're forgetting your likes of Lindsay, Story. Story seems he didn't really have the best pre-season, but as we said, it's pre-season. I don't think, am I forgetting any other centre backs? I think there's 5 there, so it will be interesting to see. It's weird being so strong in that department. Or 2, we're all saying Story last season was one of the first names on the team sheet, really, wasn't he? And this season, no one's even. I'd be surprised if he started the season. So we'll start with Darren. What the back 3? What do you think we're going to start with? Is it going to be Lindsay in the middle? Is it going to be Gibson in the middle?
No, I think Gibson is going to be in the middle, really, for that.
Hope so.
I do as well. I really liked him when he came from Plymouth. It was just, I didn't think he had like a bad game when he first came to Deepdale. And I thought, really, going forward, I think Gibson actually is captain material for this club. I know it's quite a big statement, but I do really think going forward, I'd like to see what he's like this season. But I think we should be looking at people like that because he's confident on the ball. He takes his time. He's not one of these traditional defenders where he'll get it and smack it upfield or, just anywhere. Just likes to take his time, look about, and then, he's an all-round solid defender. And I really think that we've done well in actually securing him. I think last season, that was the only good thing about it, getting, Gibson secured. But yeah, like you said, Offia as well. He's definitely going to start as well. The money we paid for him, and again, another strong, cool-headed defender. So we've got, I think, defensive-wise, I think we're covered going into the season. I don't have a problem with the defence.
So are you leaving Lindsay on the bench then next week?
Yeah.
Same. I think I'd be doing the same. Are you the same, Nathan, or would you play Lindsay and drop Gibson to left-sided centre back for Hughes on the bench?
No, very much the same, and I'm the same for a few reasons. I think every team's playing out from the back. I think you look at last season, mistakes were made because of how slow they were on the ball, and I hate to say it to him about him, but Hughes just wants too much. He wants too much time on the ball. He gets the ball, and he's always like looking for extra couple of seconds, and teams are quick to close you down. You got to be playing your younger, quicker defenders. A fire gives you that. Like Darren just said, Gibson's much more calm on the ball. I think Story could slot in there as well, that back 3. But yeah, Lindsay, and it's not only that, any team that's got pace, you saw it again, they're straight through them. You can't drop quick enough. They're playing balls in behind and they can't turn. I think Watmore's obviously left. He was an example of that, but for me, Story and Lindsay is just another example. So definitely them back three, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, we finished, I know I've gone on about, we finished 10th with Story, Lindsay, and Hughes. So you'd say Offia, a fire, whatever it is, improvement. Gibson improvement. So I think the defense is the strongest for me. It's looked at White. It's just the other positions where I'm looking at. I've got my notes down the midfield, and you're looking at Whiteman, McCann, and Mads. Obviously, McCann you want in that team. Whiteman, I really hope Whiteman has a good season this season because he gets so much criticism. He obviously came in, his North End career started off really well, but he seems to be, he's like a Woodman or a Riis, a target on social media. So I would like him to have a good start, but for me, that's where the midfield, Mads, I say, he needs a big season.
Yeah.
So if we're going with Whiteman, McCann, and Mads, I think that's going to be the midfield. I can't see anyone else.
I think just the point about the right back before we move on to the midfield, you look back, you look at Sepp, Hernandez, and obviously Kassered, and we've always got a loan in that position. It's clearly a position we knew we needed to strengthen. This year we've gone out and signed a player. You know, we're not getting another loan in for potentially one season to do well and then they go back. You know, we always wanted these signings to stay because they've all been successful loans. Yeah. But this season we've looked at them, we've actually signed a player, so that's positive in its own right. And then the quality of the player as well, in Thierry Small. So that's definitely a bit of good business. But yeah, I mean, Whiteman, I do feel for him because other players, you know, you look at Woodman maybe when he had a bit of flack, you know, I think he struggled to deal with it. But Whiteman's, he has stayed. You know, I know he was dropped a couple of times, but he's still there. He's still turning up. And yeah, I hope he has a good season because if not, you feel like he's going to get a lot of flack from the fans. I think they've been starting to jump on him towards the end. So I hope for his sake that he does have a good season.
Yeah, I mean, what you touched on there about we always bring in good loans at like right wing back, left wing back, so we don't actually need to do it on those positions this season. It could allow us, still 4 weeks left of the window, it could allow us with the loans this season. We might go and get a good attacking midfielder. Yeah. We might go and get a striker. We've got to wait for obviously the Premier League clubs aren't traditionally going to let a player go until they've got their team sorted. And then towards the end of the window, you might see us getting those players in on loan. We definitely need an attacking midfielder because Greenwood, as I say, Greenwood's gone and he hasn't been replaced. All we've got in that attacking midfielder, unless you want to put Potts there, is Mads. So we need options in there. But I'm curious what you two think starting up front next week. So the two strikers you think we're going to start with, obviously we've got Osmajic, Jebison, Smith. It looks like Wilkeen will be out next Saturday, according to Alan Nixon. So... yeah. Who are we starting up front?
So I'm going to go for, well, I think obviously the strap partnership we saw at Bolton, I think, on the second half. So I think it's going to be Millie and Jebo linking up together. I mean, I'll give them the juice, they did actually work well together. I've never actually seen Millie actually feed off a player before, because I know we usually, you know, just put Millie up front, you know, hold the ball up and then wait till another, you know, we're on the counter attack. But he actually worked well with him, and Jebison was actually like feeding off Osmajic, and you know, the balls that were coming into Millie and then feeding him off, it was really good. They played well, but again, getting into that position, that final, you know, attacking threat in front of goal, you know, again we had opportunities even in that Bolton game pre-season where you know, Millie should have squared it to Jebison, you know, open goal, and then he just decided to go for himself and miss, you know. So it's yeah, I think we're going to be. That's the only option that I can see. Really, it's just Millie and Jebison starting.
Yeah, I think on paper you'd want that, but what I worry about is if it doesn't work out, you know, your backup, you turn into. And again, this is why we need another striker.
Yeah,
you know, we've got Smith or Keane when he comes back from injury to bring off the bench. It's not really a great backup. So for that reason, I'd want to start with them, but I'd kind of use Jebison. Whoever's in form really for me. I'd start either. I'd start Millie. So I think you look through the preseason games and he's started quite a lot. So I think he's going to go with Millie on his own up front. And I think Jebison will be a player to come off the bench. Just for the matter of there's no real depth. You know, you start them two, it doesn't work out who you turn into. Yeah. But yeah, I think obviously we had a few chances at Bolton. You know, it wasn't horrendous. You know, for the sort of chances, who knows? It's a different game. But I think Thierry Small's vital to get beyond that left back, get the crosses in. And it's the same for the left side as well. I think Paul's going to play. He's played quite a lot in pre-season. Yeah, I think he'll go with him because, again, it's a similar type of wing back to Thierry Small. You know, you look at Hughes, he's not getting up and down. And Brady as well. I don't think he's getting up and down as well. So I think he'll go with Paul and then keep Hughes as a backup. Because for me, that's why he signed him. I know he's on a free, but we didn't really need to strengthen at left back. I think he's needed. We need quality there, and that's why he was signed.
Yeah, well, I think going back to up front, I don't like the idea of starting with Jebison on the bench. Like, he's come in, he had a bad time at Watford last season. I don't think Bournemouth have loaned him for him to be on loan with us to be third, fourth choice striker. So I think give him a good chance, start him, and I'll start him for the first 10 games. Who knows? He might go and score at QPR next Saturday. He's off and running then, and his North End career is underway. Whereas if you leave him on the bench, you're bringing him on, he's not going to find his... He needs games, so I think we've got to be patient with him. Give him 10 games, start all them games, and we'll see what he can do. But I just don't like the idea of... I think it was Keane last season. So Will Keane had scored 13 goals the season before last. And then last season, he was coming off the bench. He'd have a bad game. He'd go out the team. And I don't think that's any good for a striker to find the form. I think they need to know, look, no matter what, I'm going to be starting the next few games. And then they get a decent run in the team. And hopefully, I've got a feeling about... I know a lot of people disagree. I've just got a feeling Jebison's going to... All the Watford fans that were laughing at us for signing for him. When you look at Liam Delap, and was it Stoke fans? We're laughing at Hull for signing him on loan that season. Yeah. What happened? I think he scored on the opening day. 12 months later, he's a Premier League striker. People are talking about him replacing Harry Kane. It's unbelievable. Yeah. But so I think that's pretty much it on QPR. Well, go on, predictions. What score? We'll do score predictions. A bit of fun. Start with Darren. What are you saying for Loftus Road next Saturday?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I think both teams are going to score, but I'm going to go for, like I said, Preston win. I'm going to go 2-1.
I've got 2-1 written down myself. 2-1. I'm going to go for. I think we're going to win.
I do. Yeah.
Got Nathan. Tell us what score we're going to get beat.
Seeming negative here. No, I think 2-1 to QPR. I think them being at home, and everything else on the first day, they'll have a big build up to it. And the way pre-season's gone for us as well. I think if we get a couple more signings in, a bit more quality signings, I think we can be a bit more competitive. But as we're talking now, the current team now, I can't see us getting much more than a 1-1 draw for me.
1-1 draw. Let's hope we can just pick up 4 or 5 points from these opening 4 games. Start of September, we know the team. I was going to say he'll have 2 weeks to work with him on the training pitch, but I'm sure they'll all be jetting off to Dubai at the start of September or their holiday destination of choice. But yeah, hopefully. I think I've said this before. People know that I criticised Heckingbottom last season. I wouldn't have stuck with him personally, but said this in our WhatsApp group. I don't want another season where manager goes halfway through and then we get, let's start next season. So I think, say we lose these first 4 games, watch, I'll be on the podcast complaining about get rid of him. But I think you just got to stick with him. Just stick with him. Unless we're bottom 3 at Christmas, just stick with him. I want to see how he does. Let's see how he does the full season. And I
agree. Yeah, I think you need to give them time because, again, you look back at the amount of managers that we've gone through. Neil, Grayson, and I know they left for different reasons, but stick with your managers because a few of these signings, they're his signings. Jebison be the obvious one. I think it's very much... Not on his head beat it, but obviously he knew him from Sheffield, didn't he? So, he's been brought in for that reason. But yeah, I think he needs to give him time. I mean, Lowe left for whatever reason, but one thing he did do is he got the atmosphere at North End going. Some people didn't like him, fist pumping the crowd and all that at the end of the games.
Loved it.
But for me, it gets him going. It's the first thing that he did at Wigan as well. He got the players motivated as well. I think players wanted to play for him. Some might have fell out with him. Alan Brown being the obvious one, but I just think you've got to get momentum going with that type of squad. So yeah, for me, stick with him. Don't cave in after 6 months, and be a bit more patient with him.
Yeah. So Twitter. If we get beat at QPR, behave yourselves. It's only the first game of the season. Behave yourselves. Right. I think we've wrapped up pretty much the previews. What we think of how the summer's gone. Let's just end with a fun little segment. Obviously, I feel like there's been so much kit talk all this summer. So we'll end it. We'll end it with this. A little bit of a fun segment. I know it's only a kit, but kits. Darren, I can see you sat there in the blue kit.
Modelling it very well.
Is that the favourite of the 3?
That's the favourite of the 3, yeah. I just think the home kit's a bit... I think they've almost rushed the home kit and then they've done well on the away in the third. I mean, I think they could have done better. I mean, if we're rating it out of 10, I think the home kit's average 5 out of 10. You know, I just think the the little floodlight design pattern in the kits, very nice touch. But they could have implemented a bit more, a bit more than that.
They've done more in the past, haven't they? The red kit they used at Harris Museum, didn't they? If you think back. But yeah, I agree. I think they've rushed it. I think that shirt you've got on is definitely the best one. People have been wearing the goalkeeper kits.
Yeah,
for these volumes, but I think if you put a collar on that shirt, it's really nice. But yeah, I think 5 out of 10 average. But that's Castor. I don't think that's the club. I think Castor across the board. If you look at all the kits, they're all very basic plain kits, aren't they? Really. So, but yeah, I think it's a good idea what they've done with the colours. The whole marketing behind it. But put a collar on it. It's a great shirt for me. But look at the home shirt, and it's just the red. It's just you look at the away shirts, and it's just they've kind of blended it in, but with a home shirt, it's just the same. Make it blue, make it a bit more with them. But yeah, it's not for us to worry about, I suppose.
If the home shirt's a girl on a night out, she's the one last in the nightclub at the end of the night getting a taxi home by herself. The luminous yellow one, do you like that or not? I think that's get a lot of criticism. I quite like it. It's a bit different. It's a bit different.
I like it. Yeah, I do like it. Yeah.
It'd be good if we're playing at night, but that's about it for me.
Yeah, it's a good kit.
Yeah, so those are the kits, and we won't go into too much discussion. I think we've gone on for long enough. Darren, go on, plug your podcast, The Real North Ender, The Real North Ender.
Yeah. So obviously started it wasn't too long ago since I've actually started doing these podcasts now. Something I wanted to do for a while, but it's been got some positive feedback from it, and obviously from people within the group itself for your podcast, Dan, and everything as well. So I'll keep on doing it, and if anyone wants to follow me, it's just the Real North Ender podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well.
Yeah, perfect. So I'll put Darren's podcast in the show notes. Give that a click. Give it a 5-star rating on Spotify. Hit the follow button. I say more North End content, the better. Nathan, anything you want to plug?
Not for me. Just looking forward to the season. I want them to hit the ground running, like I've said a few times, and I'm just a bit nervous, really. I feel like the amount of signings we've made. I feel like, and obviously all the eyes being on the club with the Spud Bros as well. It's a big season. So, fingers crossed. Optimistic.
I'm sure we'll be sat here in 12 months' time talking about us finishing 14th or 15th again. It'll be right. But so this has been the PNE Flagship. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. The plan for this podcast is we want it to be mainly a YouTube podcast, but the audio, myself and Darren will put on our respective feeds, probably on Wednesday or something like that. So, hit the subscribe button. We might do one after the QPR game. I'll check our schedules, see how we all feel next Sunday. But that's been the first PNE Flagship. As I say, thanks for listening, everyone, and we will be back probably next week.